Hey, how's it going? My name is Ben Hearn. I'm a real estate agent with Compass right there in Suburban Square, and I am going to be doing another market watch for Bala Cynwyd for the month of November. I previously did one for October. If you missed that and want to see it, you can just go to my YouTube channel, Ben Hearn the Realtor, and it should be up there, or you can just email me and I can get it to you. So I'm going to be sharing my screen in a little bit and showing you the market watch of all the homes that had activity in November. So whether it was newly active, went under contract, if it had a price drop, or if it closed. Now, if the home had, was active in October and nothing happened, it's not going to show up in this. So it was only like homes that had some sort of real estate activity for the month of November. And I'm sure you probably heard about the market. So there's not too many active homes right now that like were freshly active and still active in November. And for this, I just kind of did like single family homes, whether they're detached or attached. I tried not to include condos just because that would there's so many of them and it would just create a lot of noise and it would just take way too long to go through all of them. So we'll briefly go through all the actives and the under contracts and pendings. And then, for the closed homes, we'll kind of go through them individually. And everything that you see me do on this computer, you actually can do as well. So this market watch, I'm going to have a link for it in the email. You can click that link, go through all the homes, check out all the pictures, property history, all that jazz. And before we get started with that, I am going to show you kind of what's been going on in the market for the last year and a half-ish. So as you can see, we going back to July 2020, orange is closed sales, light blue is new pendings, and dark blue are new listings. And it's been pretty steady. So this actually includes everything in Bala Cynwyd. It's not just the specific style of homes that I was mentioning. So condos, et cetera, everything's up in here. And, historically, the springtime is the busiest time of the market for real estate. And you can kind of see that reflected here. There's a lot, more new listings, more new pendings. Then summer goes, people go on vacation, back down a bit. Fall, it definitely drops a bit, although not too much last time. And then the winter, it's just slow. So it'll be interesting to see this year whether it reflects the same or not. But it looks like October was, decently steady considering. So this was 2 months ago. There was 12 closed sales, 19 new pendings, and 18 new listings. So the stats for November come out in the middle of the month. And, you could have things like the average price or the median price, days on market, all that stuff. And it gets there's a lot of data, but that it takes a couple weeks for it to come up. So if you're interested in that, I can send you that as well. All right, so let's jump to the market watch. So again, this is in the email. You click that big old button that says market watch and you'll get taken to this page. And everything I'm doing, you can do as well. You can share that link also. So if you have friends or family that are interested in the area, you can share it with them. So first up, we have Derwin. That was coming soon, and so now it's active. So it just became active the other day. This one has a couple open houses this weekend. That's probably going to go quick. Then we have Upland Terrace. So if you can click on the house, and then it'll go through. It shows some quick stats here, and then it has some other stats here. So that's been on the market for 27 days. It's 0.36 acres. And if you go to property history, again, I'm just using this as an example, it'll show you November 6th, that's when it was active for 735. We have 544 Contract and State Road. That was active and then got pending towards the end of the month. And that's for 580, just about. So for pending and active under contract, real quick, they are quite synonymous. Usually it just is which one's further along in the transaction. So when a seller accepts an offer, usually us realtors, we make it active under contract. Then you go through your inspection period. And once you're successfully through that, then you change it to pending. Or you can just go straight from active to pending. If it's a cash deal, then you don't have to worry about inspections. Even if there are inspections, you can just do pending. But usually, if you see the difference, pending is kind of further along in the deal. And one more thing to note about pending properties and active under contract, that price you see, that's not necessarily the final closed price. So we don't know what the house actually will sell for until like it actually sells, and then the realtor puts it up as like property closed, sold for X amount. So whatever you see there, take with a grain of salt. You can kind of guess. So if a home is days on market, so if a home is on the market for like 2 or 3 days, and then it has an offer accepted, you can assume that it's probably over the list price. 16 days, that's right, that's kind of right in the middle. So maybe it got the price exactly, maybe a touch less. If it's on there for like, depending on the price point, but like over like 30 days or something, you can generally assume that maybe it had to accept an offer that was lower than the list price. So we have a couple more actives here. This one's been on and off. Jefferson's there, Dartmouth, they're doing an open house this Sunday. And one more on Jefferson. So now we're getting to our active under contracts / pending. So Levering Mill for 900K. This house look, it's a really nice looking house inside. So again, if you click this, you can check out the map. The map on this is amazing. It's like some Men in Black kind of thing. You can zoom in, have a good angle, and you can view all the pictures, and you can like click on them bigger. I'm not going to do it for this video just because it's hard with the share screen to exit that. And Lodges Lane, that one had a really like cool interior. It was like pretty hip, I guess. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Navy Blue's in. We'll see if agreeable gray is starting to go away. I'm not sure. So we have some more under contract here on Highland for 759, Elmwood, and then Landfair. One on Oxford, and then another one on Highland. So that's a decent amount of pendings and under contracts. And now we have our closed sales. So 408 Bala closed for 320. And you can see that sold 2%, 2.7% below asking. That was on the market for 60 days. 3 bed, 1.5 bath, 1,300 square feet. 81 Princeton, so that was 925. And that sold 5.75% above asking. You can see it was only on the market for 5 days. If we go to the property history, you can see that it was listed at 875 and it ended up closing for 925. So again, if you've been keeping up with the market, you knew that earlier this year, a lot of homes went over asking. It just became commonplace, and that still obviously happens, but we are now starting to see homes, sit on the market for a little longer, and then also like have a price drop. So we're still like, the market's kind of adjusting itself to like those high home prices. Now we're like not quite there anymore, but you're starting to list it a little higher. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going on with that. And then as long as the mortgage rates stay decently low, then if they're historically low, then the prices can stay high. Monthly payments will be the same. 124 David Road. So that was on for 79 days, and that closed like basically 20% below asking for 635. It's 3 bed, 2.5 bath, 2,400 square foot. 406 Gary Lane closed for 670, and that was 4% below asking, and that was 15 days on the market. So those are about like average. And that was 670. 37 Princeton closed for 695. That closed at the beginning of the month. And that was 12% below asking, and that was on the market for 43 days. So, like we've seen, most of the closed homes so far have been below asking. But if it's like a cream puff, like awesome home, great lot size, mature landscaping, like updates and whatever, as long as it's a good list price, it'll probably go for over. Just how much is anyone's guess. If a buyer loves it, they can get crazy. Levering Circle, right there on the corner, got 600K, and that was 0.8% above asking. That was on the market for 16 days, and that's just over 2,000 square feet. And Yale Road closed for 675. And that was 3.4% below asking. And that was on the market for 23 days. So you can go to property history and you can see that it was listed originally at $699, then they dropped it to $685, and then they accepted the offer for $675. Also, again, I'm just using this as an example. So this is like 2,124 square feet. And I wanted to like focus on that a little more. Okay. So a lot of websites like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor, Compass, it shows you the total finished square foot, which includes the above ground square feet and then the below ground. So if it has a finished basement, that'll add it to the total. But if if you're in your head, like, all right, I want a 2,000 square foot home, you're thinking above ground square feet usually. So, a home might look like it's big enough for you, but it might not be. So that's just one of the many, many reasons you have to go visit the home. And then also if you have a realtor, ask them like, hey, is that like square footage actually 2,000 or is it above ground and below ground? I don't know if like just a consumer can find that out on Zillow or not. We've got Ashland here for $375. And let's see, that was on the market for 8 days and that closed right at asking. So they nailed that, right on the head. Jefferson closed for $290. And that was on the market for 3 days and they got an offer for $290. So that's a nice looking interior, original hardwoods, got the built-ins. And it's hard to get in the Lower Merion School District under 300 if it's not a condo. Gainsborough, that closed for $535. Was that up? Yeah, so that sold 1.9% above asking. That was on the market for 3 days. So, they got a pretty good offer pretty quickly. And they said, all right, done deal. And let's see, there's a couple more. So Baldwin, that was $452. This one's pretty unique. And that was slightly above asking. So you can see right here, it says DOM, that's days on market. CDOM is cumulative days on market. So that means that like it was on market total for 18 days. But usually what happens is if they take it off the market temporarily or something, and then they re-put it back on the market, that's when the DOM restarts. But the CDOM, that keeps it going. So we can kind of see what they did here. So it was originally listed at $485, then it was temporarily off the market. Then they relisted it at $449, maybe based off feedback, etc. And then they closed for $452. And that one, really nice looking interior actually. And it's in like that enclave of homes. 31 West Amherst, that's right next to the fields across from Bala Cynwyd, and that definitely went, I don't know how much over, 9.7%. Yeah, so that's one of those, great locations, good looking home. Just checks pretty much all the boxes, like large square footage, 4 beds, 2 baths, 2 half baths. So it was originally listed at $775 and it closed for $850. And then Oxford was listed, that was right there on the corner, that Cape, and then it was taken off the market. So temporary off the market. So who knows, they might just be taking it off for the winter, putting it back on, we're not sure. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So that's it, that was the market watch. Again, you can do all that stuff that I did. You can share that link if you want. You can go through all the pictures. And if you have any questions about that or like other real estate stuff, feel free to ask me. My contact info is at the bottom of the email. And if you're interested in buying or selling your home, I would be happy to help or just be a resource even if you don't know where to start, or if you want some advice on like, should you do this or that? Again, just happy to be a resource even. If you could, this is on YouTube. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate that. That would help me out. If not, obviously no worries. And I hope you enjoyed it and have a great weekend. I'm not sure when I'm going to mail this or email this, so I don't know. Great day either. All right, bye.